Your vision is everything, because if you don't know where you're going, how could you ever get there? It's really hard to be negative when you're doing so many things every day that make you feel proud of who you are and build you up. What if you could just feel so damn good that you didn't need anything, that you were just so grateful to be alive? When you don't give a fuck, it's way better. You feel free, you're liberated. You can be yourself, you can do what you want, be unapologetically you. There's a statistic that says the number one regret people have at the end of their life is that they wish they had lived a life that was genuine and authentic to who they wanted to be, not to appease other people. No matter what you do, you will never appease everybody. Get that in your head. Go after what God put on your heart. If you operate from fear, you'll never have what you want in life. What's going on, you guys? Just wanted to jump on here and share something with some of those individuals right now who might be feeling stuck. So if you're with me right now and you're watching the live, drop a hashtag live down below. If you're on the replay, hashtag replay. I want to talk about mindset. I want to talk about goals. I want to talk about what it takes to actually achieve your goals. I know a lot of people, man, who want more out of life, but they're stuck. So if you're somebody who feels stuck, or if you know there's that next level for you and you're not there yet and you're not making progress towards those goals or those visions, I'm going to break down 6 reasons why you're probably feeling stuck. I've worked with thousands of individuals over the years, and I see patterns in the way people make decisions, the way they operate. I really see how people live based on their inner beliefs about themselves and what's possible in the world. And so the first thing to recognize is that if you want to change your life, you must change first. Oftentimes that requires you to change the way you think. It requires you to change your habits. There has to be a transformation in who you are before you can go out in the world and create something different or better for yourself. And so that's really one of the first reasons why people stay stuck. It's because they don't have clarity in what they want. There's a lack of vision. Your vision is everything, because if you don't know where you're going, how could you ever get there? And a lot of people, they actually know what they want, but they're scared to articulate it. They're scared to talk about it. They suppress it. And so what I tell you is that a good exercise you can do right now to get more clear on what you want is to act as if God or a freaking magic genie or the creator of the universe or whatever you believe would literally grant your wishes if you just write them down on paper and you articulate what you want. You don't have to write a whole paper, a whole paragraph. Just create a bullet list of what you actually want, write it out on paper, and I want you to act as if it'll come true. There's no limitations here. There is nothing that will prevent or stop you from having what you write down on that paper. I want you to think about what you'd actually write down and think about your health, your relationships, your business, your money, where you live, what you're doing. I mean, if you could just create a life by design and write it down, what would that look like? That's the first step. See, what this is going to do, it's going to help you circumvent fear and all these things, this resistance inside you that's going to prevent you from articulating your truth. If you just do it very quickly, you don't second guess, you don't think about it, you just write down what you freaking want. I want you to look at that paper and I want you to think about how much different it is than your current life. Okay? But not just that. This is the first step to starting to cultivate your own vision and get clarity around what you actually want, your long-term goals. A person that has clarity and a vision, they have direction, they have focus. You're less likely to get distracted by other stuff going on in your life. So a vision is the first step, and that's one of the things that most people are missing and why they don't achieve their goals. Now, the second thing is negative self-talk. A lot of people are their own worst critic. You're your own worst enemy. You have negative thoughts about yourself or the world. You have limiting beliefs. You're pessimistic. Like people that think about why it can't be done or why it won't work, or you're always limiting yourself in the way you talk, you're never going to get where you want in life. One thing that I started doing a long time ago was I became very delusionally optimistic, to the point where I believed anything was possible as long as I wanted it bad enough and I was willing to work towards it. I believed that it would happen at some point in my life. You know, this is really important for you guys to understand. Some people are more naturally pessimistic or optimistic than others. It's a part of your disposition and the way you were brought up. But it can change. You can have an effect over how you feel and how you think. Okay, the first thing is just to be aware of those thoughts. And when you have negative thoughts, you got to challenge them. And one thing that I always do, instead of thinking what if and then a negative remark, like what if it doesn't work out? What if people laugh at me? What if I'm not good? Change that to something positive. Create a positive potential outcome. What if I succeed? What if it works out? What if I'm better than I thought? What if people are really excited and proud of me for making this change? Like, you can do the same thing in your mind that most people do. When they think about stuff and it has a negative ending, you can completely change that and start to believe that it can be a positive end. It's such a healthy thing for you to constantly challenge your own thoughts and really ask yourself, like, why not me? Why can't I do it? Why can I not be the one? You know, a lot of these cliche statements that are out there, like they help because you need to start thinking differently to operate differently. You know, scientists, researchers, people that do studies on individuals, they say that 90% of your thoughts each and every day are reoccurring, and most people's are negative. 60% of your thoughts are going to be negatively inclined. And that's because you're probably not doing what you want in your life. So you're thinking about that shitty job, how you got to sit in traffic, how you got bills to pay, blah, blah, blah. Like, if you're not in alignment with where you want to go in your life, you're not excited about where you're going, chances are you're going to have negative thoughts. But check this out. The third thing I want to share with you that keeps people stuck will directly impact your thoughts. And that's your daily habits. Most people are inconsistent in doing things that actually improve the quality of their life. So you work out sometimes, you eat healthy sometimes, you read and study sometimes, you know, you stay on task sometimes, you follow your schedule sometimes. Like, you got to do this stuff daily to see that compounding materialize into a transformation in your life. And here's the thing, when you do things every day that make you feel proud of who you are, and you're really focused on those success-based habits, your self-talk improves. It's really hard to be negative when you're doing so many things every day that make you feel proud of who you are and build you up. So the reason most people think negatively is because they're not consistently doing things that make them feel good about themselves, and they just haven't trained their mind to think the right way. Like, they're just constantly dwelling on stuff that's going wrong in their life. They're complaining, and then they don't believe that they can change. They don't believe that they're able to change because they don't have evidence. They haven't proved to themselves through those daily actions that they're capable. And that's what it comes down to, is that each and every day you have to build confidence. You have to establish that undeniable proof and evidence by the way you're living that you're capable, that you're competent, and that you can go out and achieve your goals and dreams. Now, the fourth reason that people don't achieve their goals and stay stuck in life is because they have vices and they have pleasure-seeking behavior. Now, I think that alcohol, I think that pills, I think that smoking weed, all of those things, even in moderation, are going to hinder you in your ability to become your best self. They're going to thwart your potential, okay? Now, I know some people that can drink occasionally, and that's great. I know some people who drink occasionally are very successful, and there's a term called functioning alcoholics, meaning there's people that drink a lot and they get shit-faced and they black out and they're still successful. But I think maybe the people that think they're successful measure success differently than I do. When I think of success, I think of mind, body, spirit, relationships, finances. It's multifaceted. And I just ask any of you who are listening to this, if you think that you drink recreationally or you can pull it off, imagine who you'd become over time if you didn't need that crutch. Imagine in times of stress or to have fun, you didn't need to consume a substance to change the way you feel. What if you could just feel so damn good that you didn't need anything? That you were just so grateful to be alive. You were in such alignment with your purpose that to actually use those things would to take you down a notch. Like for me, if I smoked right now or drank, I would be a worse version of myself. Even if I had one drink and we were talking and goofing around, having fun, I would be an inferior version of myself in that moment. Because I've trained my mind. I've trained myself through my habits, through my perspective. And really my spirit's been alivened to the point where I don't need substances to feel the way that I want to feel. I can feel that way each and every day by the way I live. When you're in alignment to your definite purpose and you're all in on your dreams and your goals, it is such an intoxicating feeling that you don't need anything else, and you would never want to jeopardize that feeling with a substance, with a drink, or whatever it is. Pleasure-seeking behavior means food. It means chasing women. It means womanizing. It means, porn. For a lot of people, it's your phones. So I want you to take a moment to ask yourself, am I doing anything on a daily or weekly basis that is thwarting or killing my potential? I'm telling you, man, if you have vices and pleasure-seeking behavior and these bad habits and these things that maybe you're embarrassed or ashamed about that no one knows, you will never get to where you want to go in life, okay? You just have to recognize that. Now, this next one I want to share with you is a really powerful reason why a lot of individuals don't change or go after their goals and dreams. And that's because there's fear of judgment. You're worried about what other people are going to think or say about you. And honestly, this is a big deal. Whether it's your family, your friends, people at work, might be your spouse, might be just close relatives. A lot of people don't change because they're worried about how it's going to affect other people. And I was like this for many, many years of my life. You know, I grew up in a family that was very tight knit. We were loyal to each other. We did things a certain way, even if it was to our detriment, right? And I knew I wanted to change and be a different, more authentic version of myself, but I just felt stuck because those relationships, that codependency that we shared was so strong. And when I finally did get the chance to get away from those relationships and some of the toxicity that was in those relationships, and I was able to truly be myself, my authentic self, the person in my core I knew I was supposed to be, it was one of the most liberating feelings of my life. And so I'll tell you from experience living in both realms, right? The person who felt worried about being judged and the person that doesn't give a fuck about being judged. When you don't give a fuck, it's way better. You feel free. You're liberated. You can be yourself. You can do what you want. Now, I always take people into consideration when I make decisions. I don't want to harm people. I don't want to like necessarily hurt them, but I'm going to say things that I feel are true. And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to be myself. And if people don't like it, I don't care. Because if I'm doing the right thing and I'm being genuine and I'm making an impact and I'm going after my goals and I'm doing God's work, whatever it is for you, don't be ashamed to be yourself. Be unapologetically you. There's a statistic that says the number one regret people have at the end of their life is that they wish they had lived a life that was genuine and authentic to who they wanted to be, not to appease other people. That's the number one regret people have on their deathbed. Are you going to be one? Or are you going to be that person that paves their own path? You go after your goals, you inspire others because you do it, and you don't care what people think or say. They're always going to talk about you. You go after your goals, oh, you think you're better than us, oh, you're never going to reach those goals, oh, da-da-da-da-da. You stay stuck, you settle, you just live a life of mediocrity, guess what? People are going to talk about you the same. Man, you have no ambition. Man, you're not driven. Man, you gave up. Man, you settled. No matter what you do, you will never appease everybody. Get that in your head. Go after what God put on your heart. That's how you become successful. And the last reason why people stay stuck is just that. They just don't go after what they want. They let fear of getting out of that comfort zone and going all in on their dreams keep them stuck in their tracks. Now, I see this happen all the time. I have clients who are working a certain job and they want to go start their own business. They want to pursue their passion, but they're getting money in this job. It's security, it's predictable. And to go out into that unknown is unpredictable and it's scary and things could go wrong and they might not make it. And all these fears and all of this negativity in their mind keeps them stuck in place. There's a lot of reasons why people are unwilling to get out of their comfort zone and go all in after their dreams. Most of it is derived from fear. If you operate from fear, you'll never have what you want in life. But I'm here to tell you that if you're willing to go all in on your dreams and you obsess over those goals and you align every thought, every action to those outcomes, you get rid of those toxic friends, you stop with the vices, you're not distracted, you're just so hyper-focused on your goals and dreams. I'm here to tell you that 9 times out of 10, it will work out in your favor. And oftentimes it works out better than expected. Sometimes not exactly how you thought it would go, but it always works out. And that one time that it doesn't, you pivot, you grow, and you learn. And that experience actually becomes immensely valuable for you down the road as long as you keep going. And so then it always works out, okay? I'm here to tell you guys that if you let one of those 6 things stop you in your path from going after your goals, a lack of vision, negative self-talk, inconsistent in the habits that build success, vices and pleasure-seeking behavior, fear of judgment and opinions from others, or fear of getting out of your comfort zone and going all in, you're never going to get to the place in your life that you want. And down the road, you're going to look back and think, damn, what if I went all in? Damn, why did I just hold back for so long? Like, I only get one life. Why did I just stop? Why didn't I go for it? I'm here to tell you, man, that inside of you, if you're just able to massively shift your perspective and recognize that you have a limited amount of time here in this life, and you recognize that you are capable and you can develop skills and you can learn and you can grow to become the person that achieves those goals. Man, I want that for you. I want you to go all in on your dreams. I want you to stop holding back because others around you will be inspired. You will become an example that so many can look to that will allow them to make change in their life that is meaningful. So you guys, I love you. I want the best for you. Share this message with somebody that needed to hear it. Drop a comment down below if you watched the video all the way through. What is your biggest takeaway? I want to hear from you. And let's go out and change the world together.